MTYE Music.
Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to the RSI Forex Education. Good day, everyone. Welcome again to our YouTube channel. Thank you for tuning in. As you all know, I've made a commitment that every Sunday I will be sharing with you guys my top 4 setups that I will be looking for the week ahead. So for this week, we have EURUSD, EURCAD again, USDCHF again, and the last one is British pound and Canadian dollar. So let's jump into the charts. So here our first pair, it's Euro USD. Now let's start on the daily time frame and show you guys my reasons why I'm looking for a short-term sell. There we go. As you can see, we have this bigger pattern, which is a falling wedge. But then this I call this the diagonal resistance. Here is our first touch, our second touch, and there is our third touch. So every time when price comes to this point, I look how price gets there, and that's where I get to make my decision on the smaller time frame. So in this case, we can see here it got very impulsively on the daily time frame, but if we can dive into the small time frames, we can see that it got there in a corrective manner, which it breaks to the downside. And in this case, as you all know, price moves in such nature. This is how price moves. Coming down, going up. That's how price moves. So why not take a sell? So here, as you can see, price gave us that first impulse leg. Now we're expecting something of this nature and then continue with it to the upside. Something of this nature again, just like that. So here another thing that made me to have my targets here is that I used my Fibonacci retracement. This helps me to know where price is more likely to turn and continue with the momentum. So as you can see here, we have our 50 zone, our 61.8. Most pairs that I trade, they retrace on the 61.8. But then immediately when it starts getting on the 50, that's when I will look how is it behaving there. How is it approaching it? If it breaks down and come all the way to our targets, we'll see how it got there. If it got impulsively and then starts correcting, going to the 78.6, that's when we will be looking how it's getting there, so that we can know if we are exiting our trades or is it ready for us to ride with it to the upside. So let's just go straight to the 1 hour to discuss our probables and possibilities. And by the way, this is what I was talking about when I said the diagonal resistance. This is that long trend line on the daily. So here, as you can see, I've got this beautiful pattern that breaks to the downside. Here we can see it did break to the downside, but then this whole thing it can be seen as an impulse move. There we go. This is one large impulse move. As we all know, the market moves in two natures. It's a corrective nature and an impulse nature. So in this case, before we enter, what is it that we're looking for? So if price can give us something of this nature here, and it's giving me the 6 to 8 hour correction for entry, I will be looking to take the sell. But then if price because what might happen if price just comes there, give me something of this nature, it's still a good one because it's a beautiful correction to take advantage of. Or if price impulse to the upside, coming back to retest this previous highs, then this will be giving us a double top formation. This is a double top formation. Then I'll just be expecting first impulse leg, then I'll be expecting a 6 to 8 hour correction for entry. That's when I will take my entry. But then what happens, okay, let me just remove this. There we go. But then what happens if price from here pushes to the upside? We'll be looking again at this double top region. If it gets here in an impulsive, in a corrective nature, for example, getting there, but then giving us that 6 to 8 hour correction for entry, then I will enter it. But then if it gets there impulsively, I will wait for the first impulse leg and then I will enter on the correction. I will enter on the correction. So that's what I'm looking for on Euro USD. Now let's jump to the second one, which is USD Swiss franc. If you still remember, if you haven't watched our previous video, you can go and check it out. We were anticipating a buy and price was somewhere here. Still remember, we were looking for that small continuation pattern. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. As you can see, price shot all the way to the downside, but as price was going to the downside, I was able to find another significant area down here. As you can see, I just kept this one simple. Here I have my support area, and as you can see, okay, let me just do this. I will redo them. As you can see here, checking at our candlestick patterns, we have this bearish here, we have this bearish here, we have this shooting star, and we have this. So the combination of these three is called a morning star. This is called a morning star. This indicates a reversal. So in this case, when you dive into our 4 hour, you can see this is a downtrend. It's a downtrend, but then it broke. Price is starting to change the trend. It broke these recent highs, also this ones. Price broke these recent highs, and impulsively so. So what is it that we're looking for from here? While here we might find the impulse correction and impulse nature. This can just start giving us something of this nature, going all the way to the upside, coming again to retest here and going up. So I'm sure you can see, if it does give us something like this, we can clearly anticipate that this is an inverse head and shoulders. This is an inverse head and shoulders, and we know that it breaks to the upside, so we will be looking to take advantage of it all the way to this blue horizontal ray over there. So let's, okay, let me just put those things again. There we go. There we go. So here we'll be looking for the first correction to continue with it to the upside. If come have something of this nature, it might be something of this nature, then we will still be looking to capitalize. Or if price just comes, give us something of this nature, still a beautiful correction, we'll be looking to capitalize. But then what will happen if, for example, price pushes to the downside? We will now be expecting what? A double bottom, and then we'll be expecting such a correction to take advantage of it. So that's it for the USD Swiss franc. Now let's dive into the third one, which is EURCAD. This one is an interesting one. If you still remember this previous week, I was looking for sales, but then unfortunately I didn't enter any trade on this one. Price was somewhere here. We're looking for that correction and a continuation to the downside, but then unfortunately that didn't happen. But what happened is this: when I was evolving my structure, this can be a little bit more confusing to most people. Okay, as we can see here, we have this impulse moves, this bigger moves to the upside, but then from here we started having the correction. It's a correction, then broke to the downside. Then again here, a correction, broke to the downside, came back, impulse back to the downside. This shows that the momentum, it is to the downside, and here we can see that we have this beautiful correction that breaks to the downside. So let's just dive into the 1 hour here. We will also be using the multi-touch confirmation. Sorry about that. Today it's a bit slow. Here we can see we have our first touch. Coming here, it's our second touch. And at the bottom we can also see that we have a first touch, a second touch, and you can see that from here price moved very impulsively and came back impulsively. So are we going to sell when price breaks here or whatnot? Okay, my views on this one, what I will be looking for, I'll be looking for price to come back in this nature, coming all the way to the upside to give us a double top formation, and then breaking to the downside. Or if that doesn't happen, if price pushes to the downside and starts giving us a larger correction, then that's when I will be looking to enter the trade. So that's it from me on EURCAD. So far, that's the possibilities and the probables I have, but then more will develop as the market opens and as days goes by, as I keep on forecasting and seeing what the market is telling us to do. So yeah, the last one is GBPCAD. On this one we are also looking for those cells. This one is quite simple. As you can see here, price went to the upside impulsively, gave us this reversal pattern. It did broke to the downside, and here we have another one. So price is repeating itself. We have another one which we are looking for it to break to the downside. So let's come to the 4 hour. There is a reason why I have this horizontal ray there. If we can check, let me just have something of this nature. Some people might have something of this nature, or some might even have something of this nature, but then it's still the same thing. As you can see, price broke here impulsively, and we will be looking for price to come to this area to retest or to retrace this trend line here and continue going to the downside. So I just wanted to keep my charts clean, so that's why I only have the horizontal ray there. So here let's look at our probables and our possibles. So on this one, for us to be able to be in the trade, if it does gives us something of this nature, moving in a corrective manner, that's when we will take a sell. Or for example, if this just comes, breaks here and starts correcting, we will now be having what? a double top formation. We'll be looking to capitalize with it, going all the way to the downside. That's how it will be. For example, if price from here shoots all the way to the downside, now it broke our second trend line, we'll be looking for a retest. Then that's when we'll take our sell opportunities. So yeah guys, that's it from me for this week. If you really like our content, please hit the thumbs up button. That really helps to grow the channel. Please hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell, and please also share the link. The information may not be valuable to you, but it might help someone out there. Thank you very much guys.